Oh my God, where am I? How's this bit landing? Is it landing? Here I am in the 2025 Mini Cooper convertible John Cooper Works. The camera's over there. Welcome back to the channel. I'm in the shade today because there's literally heat index of like 97 degrees out, and I'm on Accutane, and I don't want to fry like a piece of bacon. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris, and I do car reviews for literally everybody, not just car enthusiasts. And before I begin today's video, as always, please do me the biggest favor ever and like this video, comment something down below, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video, which is whenever I can. We today are in the Sport Compact segment, which is fast becoming one of my favorite segments, especially now that I've had this, the 2025 Mini Cooper John Cooper Works convertible. The Mini Cooper John Cooper Works hardtop starts around $39,000. This is the John Cooper Works convertible that starts around $46,000. This one though comes out around $49,000 MSRP because it has a few convenience packages such as the assisted driving as well as the iconic interior. This thing looks and feels pretty iconic. I love the way that it looks inside and out. There's really not much to the Mini's design. You either like it or you don't. Really, the biggest changes that they've made for this new generation, especially in the hardtop, has got to be the triangular LED tail lamps, where you can't find them on here. They're still the rounded out ones, but they do benefit from the linear daytime running lights that you can find on the circular headlamps, but the turn signal does encompass the entirety of that circle when you turn on the turn signal. How could you hate on this thing? It's adorable. But don't let the fact that this Mini Cooper is absolutely adorable fool you, because this BMW B48 twin scroll single turbocharged 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine is a rip-snorting good time. It outputs 228 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, which is a substantial increase from last year's 237 pound-feet. It's then tied to a dual-clutch 7-speed automatic transmission, has a front-wheel drive drivetrain, and gets 0 to 60 in about 5.9 seconds, according to Mini's website. That's pretty quick. Okay, let's talk about this fabulous interior. There is a lot that is recognizably BMW in here, especially from the buttonry on the Mini Cooper steering wheel, from the assisted driving to the infotainment controls right here, not to mention the stalks on the steering wheel. Also, this wireless phone charging pad is very next-gen BMW as well. The only difference is that this actually locks it into place, whereas the BMWs didn't. So probably the biggest news and my favorite thing to come out of this new generation of Mini Coopers has got to be this 9.4-inch OLED circular display. It is literally probably one of my most favorite touchscreen infotainment applications I've ever experienced, period. It kind of amalgamates the retro with the new modern era with the analog style gauge cluster that you can employ at any time during this power mode, but you can also kind of have these different apps that you can kind of circle through, and the animations are so cool and interesting. And then you get the Union Jack on either side of the ending of the app. That's really interesting. It does kind of have an iDrive kind of sense to it, especially in this long list of apps that you can kind of circle through, as well as the fact that there are no physical buttons except for the volume knob, which is nice. Probably the biggest other news to come out from this OLED display is the fact that it has these different driving experiences. They have kind of made these driving experiences more personalized in the sense that, like, every time you choose a new one, it makes a sound effect. So this is the go-kart or the sport mode. It gives you more acceleration. It gives you more data for, like, from the turbo to your oil temperature to how much torque and horsepower is coming out of the engine and your G-force. But at any time that you are in any of these experiences, you click this button, which shows you either RPM or power, and it takes you to this analog style gauge, which is very reminiscent of old Minis. So obviously this is the core. This is the main one. Green. Ooh. This one doesn't have much to offer except for the more eco-style driving capabilities. And I say that because each drive mode has a different projected ambient lighting that populates on the dashboard. The green one does not have one, but that's because they're trying to make it look more like ecological, I guess. I don't know. Vivid gives you a more music kind of focused one, and it will change the ambient lighting based off whatever album cover you have. And it's got this like kind of cute plum red color. My personal favorite is the timeless one, because this one, I love the color of it. I love the antique style gauge cluster. I really enjoy it. There's really not much else to that one. And then of course, ooh, balance. This is their comm screen. Basically, this is their comm screen. So that's it. And it's got this like kind of purple polka dot kind of thing going on. I really find this little doodad to be interesting. This is the center console, basically. This is about as much storage as you get. Why does God give me his goofiest battles? I tried to put my GoPro on the sun visor and it didn't work. So now here I am wearing it on my head, which there are some YouTubers that do that. Last time I did this, it was like way too close to the ceiling. But I think I might have figured it out for my height. Let me know in the comments. Speaking of my height, look at how much headroom I have for a 6'4" giant like me. Look at this ample headroom. That's crazy. My friend had a Mini Cooper in college and I think I remember fitting in it. I honestly don't remember. Woohoo! All right, we'll also put it in the sport transmission, and here we go. This thing has the most amount of torque steer because it's a front wheel drive powerhouse. Now, even though it does have some torque steer, it's not terrible. Like, I'm not that, here's a corner. Because what it makes up for is in its handling. My God, this thing can handle like with the best of them. It really is so much fun to drive. It also sounds incredible. It sounds so good in here. And here's another corner. This steering wheel has these extra nubs on it in order for better grip, and this is their John Cooper work style steering wheel, and I love it. I also love this strap down here. It's really cool. Now, I think probably my biggest issue with cars like this, typically they're supposed to be daily drivers, but they make the sport editions of them. My biggest problem with those is the suspension. Now, I think the fact that this is a Mini in general, it's going to have a kind of stiffer suspension, but it's actually somehow not that bad. Like, it's really not all that terrible. Yes, it's bouncy. Yes, it is stiff. Honestly, I think I've tempered my expectations enough to the point that, like, I don't mind it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just, like, I get in here knowing that it's going to be a bit of a rough ride because it is almost like the size of a go-kart, at least seemingly anyway. The sport mode is literally called go-kart. You get in here knowing that you're going to be kind of thrown around in one form or another. It's just like, yeah, does it have a manual transmission? No. Is it still fun as to drive? Absolutely. This thing has been I honestly forgot about Mini Cooper until I was okayed by Mini to drive this. I was like, oh my God, that's right. I actually love these things. The other time that I drove like a sport style Mini was the Mini Cooper convertible, but it was the S, and that was in college because my friend put hers in the shop and they gave her that rental, and I was obsessed with how quick that thing was. And I'm obsessed with how quick this thing is. This thing is just like, it brisks around corners. It is undeniably a tiny little racer. And 280 horsepower might not sound like a lot, but for something how small this is, wow. Yeah, and you know what? There's really not much else to this car. The transmission is really good. There's really not a whole lot of turbo lag. Like, it's really quick on its feet with the acceleration, whereas like a lot of other cars that I've driven, it takes kind of a long time for it to kind of speed up. But this thing, especially in sport mode, it just hits it. And even in just the regular non-sport mode, like, let me take it out of everything. And then if I mash on the accelerator, there is a tiny bit of lag, but it's really nothing to shake a stick at, because at the end of the day, you're gonna be putting it into sport mode if you're gonna be doing that anyway. For the fact that they're sport bucket seats, they're incredibly comfortable. The brakes are Brembo and stop on a dime. Like, what? It's got an electronic locking differential for the front, which I guess does help for the torque steer, because maybe they did know that there was going to be torque steer. But mechanically speaking, this thing is an absolute dream. It's just so effortless. A couple things I forgot to mention is that the interior has this kind of cloth style dashboard as well as on the door panels, which is like a huge trend in the auto industry right now. And I think that I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie, it's really not bad in here, and I think it kind of adds to the Mini Cooper experience, especially with this like saddlebag kind of look right there. I really like it. Hang on, here's another corner. It's just so effortless. So let's get into final thoughts. There are so many sport compact sedans to choose from at this point. Does this have the most cargo capacity? No. Does this have the most fun per horsepower? Yeah, kind of. This thing is just, it's so exciting. I don't know what it is about this, but it's just so exciting. Again, there is like no space anywhere for anything really. There's like 2 cup holders and a little box the size of my GoPro bag. And that's about it. And at least you can put stuff in the trunk when the top's down. But I love the capability of the convertible top. I love the engine sound. I love how quick this thing is on its feet. It's a little expensive. This is almost $50,000 when you can get one of the Hyundais or a Golf or a WRX for like a little bit less, maybe not entirely less, but less enough that you could end up buying that instead. But you're buying this for the heritage, you're buying this for the craftsmanship, you're buying this for like just how much fun it is. I don't know, I really love this thing. If money wasn't an option and I was like a huge stan of Mini Cooper, I would definitely buy this. I think with everything else out there, maybe not, but like definitely do not overlook this, because it is a look, there's a Mini Cooper right there. People love Mini Coopers. I love Mini Coopers. So anyways, that's all I've got for today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video, which is whenever I can. And I will see you on the next one. I'm headed to a pool party. And so because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and put the top down. Goodbye, and I will see you on the next one. Hey Sparks, thanks for watching today's video. Do you want more Sparkplug TV content? Then you can choose one of these 3 options. Right over here. The middle button is to subscribe to my channel, so please do that. Right over here. These 3. I can't see them in real life, but they're right here.